Albert, stop it!
Oh shit! No shit! Did he just shoot his son? Did he just shoot you?
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
Oh my
If
god.
you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything. It ain't me.
What you did was inexcusable. Picked an easy target, didn't you?
Yes, you did. And it was cowardly and inexcusable.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
Alright. But it says she's the pillar of this community.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
You're so gullible. This is no freedom.
Free? You may soon find out that you have simply traded one set of shackles for another.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
The letter said you were dumb as a box of rocks.
Goodbye, young man.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Okay, well, I'm sure I'll talk to your father later.
Me? I'll not die in some stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Someday you'll understand. You wasted your life away.
Sir.
What? Shooting a boy in the middle of the street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor.
The fuck? Why do you have herpes?
No one can help me. Not even you.
Perhaps
Tell me
you
of
could
your
focus
troubles.
for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve.
Why did you
a
shot
public
this boy?
execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Why did you shot this boy?
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
Yes. Sounds like shell shock. I've seen a few cases like yours. This is nothing you should be ashamed of, Benjamin. And it's perfectly natural in your situation.
Not ashamed. I just need my pills. Peace and quiet, that's all.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's just a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
Huh.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Wow, you really told him that you're ashamed of him.
Boots would be proud of me.
How are you?
I'm not your...
Goodbye, young man.
Goodbye, young
Find
man.
some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Does lavvy mean lavatory? Is that what lavvy means?
Black bloody heart, boy.
Oh,
Swanborough cordial can be the answer to all
look
your
at this
problems.
lady.
As long as you have the money.
Look at you.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this
Hey,
unknown
Wizzy.
and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Fellow healer with your fox draped around you.
I'd
Oh,
like
it's-
to see
yeah.
what kind...
Fucking, what kind of bullshit you got?
Boy.
I can sell this hatchet. That's kind of cool. Samples and ingredients. I got junk. I don't know if I want to sell the wedding ring. I haven't met his wife yet. I'll hang on to that. Let's talk to her.
Good evening.
Tell me, who intrigues you
Hey, Bo.
most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition?
How'd you do it?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
How'd you get all the chains?
I'd like to see what kind of medicine...
The Swanborough cordial can be the
Ran up and whacked
answer to
them, huh?
all your problems. As long as you have the money.
Did you go left to right or right to left?
Bloody jump to you, eh?
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even when science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
We've got to find Dr. Whatchamajigger. Darius Petrescu. Oh, I wonder if he's here.
What?
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Oh. How do we do that? He's got bronchitis. Am I supposed to stand here? What does this mean? I saw this at the hospital too. Oh. Jesus.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
As I very suspiciously watch from through this very fucking clear gate.
Poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for...
Welcome, sir. Please,
I am Dr. Reed.
Doctor. Interesting.
Have you heard of a nurse?
Nurse Crane. So the bitch really is a nurse, then? Always thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes, she's a nurse, and quite a good one. What did she do to gain such notoriety?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
Maybe she is just trying to be a good person. Like,
How is business around here?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds like you blame someone in particular for your situation.
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
nice. Loot.
Right then.
He's got stuff to buy. He's got stuff to do. Wait,
You ne-
there was one. I didn't talk about that. I got that. Got all that.
Goodbye for
All
now.
Bye, Mr. Douche.
Excuse me, sir.
Another journalist?
I'm not a journalist.
A doctor, you say?
Really? But still,
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most.
how did you become the local bully everyone is afraid of?
Use the
There's no
voice.
pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job? So you're racketeering for someone else?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You're a criminal. You could have refused. These are shit answers. Yeah, he knows he's a criminal. Yeah, he could have refused, but he needed to fucking put food on the table. Survival is the natural law means I approve of what he's doing. I don't like any of these fucking answers. Like, I guess I could tell that he's a criminal, like a dumbass. You're a criminal. Don't do the bads and stuff.
You are a criminal who endorses criminal activity. The least you could do is stop hiding behind this pretense.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of...
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are
Hey,
too
Sigma.
afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say it's justified?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
Have you heard of a nurse named Dorothy Crane? She's a colleague of mine, and is supposed to live around here.
Dorothy Crane. Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
That's awesome.
Goodbye, Mr. Peterson.
Now I feel bad about calling him a criminal. Like, obviously he's a fucking criminal. Oh, look at this person. He's doing a dance. Keep the devil away with your dance. Ha! Hua! This is the way you're gonna fuck that devil good. Give him... Oh, you're done.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
You're a dingus.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I sent him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer,
Can we suck this guy instead?
Samuel will fear no evil. while
We
he
might be able to
walks through
suck
the
this
valley of
guy.
The shadow of death.
We might give this guy the suck.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
The
Quite a
plain truth.
judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I'm listening.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
With fire!
Cleansing fire.
Of course.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this
Endel, do you have
city has
scouts
risen from
tonight?
the ashes,
Or are you
hardened,
free to
purified by
play
the
random
flames.
time? This is the 20th century, man. Holy fire! Science is our only hope. Where do you put the limit? 20th century. I don't want to go so far as to say science is our only hope. Fire is not a good idea, though.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman
Oh, okay, so you're
facing
not.
something
You have to
he does
go.
not understand.
In like an hour.
This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool.
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am
Also,
quite a...
for you,
I am. Do you know Nurse...
I don't like...
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male babies.
Nuns instead of nurses.
It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country.
Do you know that?
That's what happens. when
People
you let
say a lot of
woman
things
get
about her
involved
just
in
because she's
politics.
fucking foreign. Goddamn bigots, man. These people are dicks.
I have heard enough.
Man, this guy might get the suck. I don't know, guys. Father Tobias Whitaker might get the fucking suck. Oh, I have to have level 5 to suck him. I am far and away from giving Whitaker the good suck, but I might do it, y'all. I might. Oh, look at this! It's an educated black man in 1920.
Familiar with this part of town?
The fuck?
Name's Clayton Darby.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon.
This
I'll
game is
gladly help
more
if I'm
progressive than it should be. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm loving it. I love to see so many minorities in this game in 1918 London, but I've got questions. Shit doesn't quite stack, I feel.
Have you any idea of the
A
danger
journalist?
you face in these streets?
A
at
black
night?
journalist in
Hide
1918?
more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever.
I'm like,
Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
certainly not in America. I assume not in London. London doesn't seem like super liberal either. I mean, like I said, Dre.
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really?
Maybe he's black Irish, so they're cool with him.
To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist.
I
hoping
like
to
this
tell
guy.
some stories.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm a doctor, Mr. Darby. I care about everything involving public health and this epidemic.
Are you
As
sure
an
you're
Irishman,
just
I can
concerned
assure you
about
we are
the
expected to hate and be hated by the good
scandal
Englishmen.
involving a certain nurse from the Pembroke Hospital with Brit?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
You got juked.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby.
Mr. Darby got
Farewell.
juked by an old man. Fucking jukes. Are you gonna do the air hump thing, Father? I was kind of enjoying that. Do it again. Show me how you're gonna fuck the devil out of the little girls and boys. No, alright. They're always trying to get me Lucky Charms. What? Why does everybody laugh when I say that? They are trying to get me charms! Flower bouquet. A small flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Ah. Camellia. Camellia
I'm Dr.
Bedelia.
Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about
I
her
used
secret
the voice.
dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse Crane and Darius Petrescu have been clever. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well. Goodbye then.
She is a mute. Talking about my Jesus. Find a nethercot. Find the mailbox. All of these little flower bouquets have free medicine.
It's locked, all right.
Find the mailbox. Is there a mail? What do old time mailboxes look like? Oh, here we go. I thought it was ripped apart. Am I just fucking... Is this like... Now? Like... Quick, we have to get all the information so that we can fucking paste this shit together so we can read it. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war. But there is also a war going on here in England. A war against poverty, against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight despite my advanced years. This is why I'm writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now and you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now, to feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me and remember that your father loves you all the way from this cold, damp country. I am, as ever, your loving father, Darius Petrescu.
The
that
content of Darius' letter
so
to his children
fucking sad.
Give me more leverage to enter.
I am like so depressed about this. Jesus. Oh yeah, look, he's doing the thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Alright, Father, you need to work on your technique. You're sticking your butt back, but you're not doing any thrusting. You gotta thrust it forward. You gotta show us how you're gonna do it. Good effort. Could have been better. 3 out of 7. Woo! Hello. Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. Easy. Exactly. He's not going to attract those little altar boys with that poor thrust game. No one's going to want him to transubstantiate them. It's the poet.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed.
Guys,
I'm
like
getting
like
a few questions.
a serious Willem Dafoe vibe
Although
from
I may
this.
not be the best informant regarding this part of
this
town.
face.
My words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well,
It
you
is
for a
90%
start,
reading.
my dear doctor.
It is a choice-based.
I understand.
It's a Mass
your
Effect
need for
game, guys.
solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care.
least
I don't
that's what it
have
feels
many
like.
friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic,
I
I
look
must caution you
terrifying.
to avoid unnecessary
How am I supposed to not
exposures.
look like
Thank
crazy
you, Doctor.
man?
But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Do we
What
both
are your
know that?
thoughts on the terrible
Do I
situation
know that?
in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
If you want peaceful silence, leave a giant city, you dick.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
Can you call yourself
May
a
I ask
poet?
you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary
calling you
part
a
of town,
dick.
is it not? I'll be glad to help you if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane, a nurse who lives in this vicinity.
Dorothy Crane. Oh, I love
Dorothy
the name.
Crane.
The Crane of Whitechapel. Sounds very mysterious. But sorry, no, never heard of her.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu. Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small publisher. I invited him to publish my work, but his reaction was pretty clear.
Not interested in your talent?
Darius is an old political activist who takes delight in printing tracts and lampoons. Those communist activities only require mediocre writing skills.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Hey, Shadow.
Darius
How's
is a
the
bit less
hand?
of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. Ah. Editor refusal letter. Dear Mr. Nithercott, thank you for sending your book of poems, Songs from the Defeated City, which we found as interesting and profound as we told you the first time we received it. Alas, in the terrible times our country is currently facing, you must understand that such a title would be totally inappropriate for any publication. Thus, since you still refuse to change your title and demand the full publication or none of your work, I am sorry to announce that to you that Sycophant Publishing chose the second opinion with the the second option with the kindest regards. Sucks, boy, except I'm watching
Good
you.
evening,
Ah.
Mr. Nithercott.
And good evening to...
You don't really make a living from your scribblings, do you, Richard?
No, sir, I don't. I work so hard. I put all my time, my energy, my devotion into the precise carving of words.
When she was younger, my mother was a painter and a poet. She told me many times how poor her artist friends were and how she helped them.
My parents pay for my rent, my food, and my clothes. All I have to give them in return is lies they do not believe.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a son they have to support.
Aww. I resonate so hard.
Did you know
with
the
that.
Mute Florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir, for it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding, it's certain to be for the benefit of most, if not all.
I fear you are a hopeless romantic, Mr. Nethercott.
Guilty as charged, Dr. Reed.
I like this man.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott.
The place is not beautiful per se, but how to explain it?
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
He's in love
Not
with
much,
the mute.
and that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know. She's a locked mystery who exhales kindness and sweetness.
Perhaps you're just afraid to find out the truth about your muse.
One day, perhaps, I'll ask her to come with me. But will she still be my wild flower?
You just can't say no. This guy knows.
If she moves uptown.
And have you ever tried to learn more about her? Where she lives? How she survives? Whom she may know?
Maybe I prefer she remains an enigma. Reality can be so dull, don't you think?
In what way, exactly?
The struggle by gaslight, the barren smiles, and the added hunger under the rain.
If you say so.
Such vibrant antagonism and vivid paradox. The stripped humanity raged across each street.
Vivid, of course, yes. And what about the poignant distress?
Oh yes, the poignant distress. You see what I mean, don't you? That's what I want to write about, and that's what Whitechapel is made of.
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Hey, Aegis Mods, how's it going? Okay, so I like this game a lot, and the combat's fun, and the dialogue is interesting. Although some of the dialogue options very much so frustrate me. But it is a little slow-paced sometimes. Who's
I'm
this?
cheap and I'm clean, I promise.
Oh, it's a whore. Hello, Death Nova. I'm good, thanks for asking. How are you today?
Pay me a
Welcome.